Approximately 50,000 new HIV infections occur in the US each year. As of 2013, 35 million people were infected globally with HIV. 1 in 7 living with HIV are unaware that they have the disease. 1 in 4 new HIV infections are diagnosed among 13 to 25-year-olds every year. 3.2 million children are infected with HIV globally under 15 years of age. The average time from contraction of HIV to death in untreated individuals is 9 years. Since 1981, 39 million people have died from the HIV virus. Being the world's leading infectious killer, HIV has continued to be a predominant issue in today's society. Regardless of treatment advancement, along with increasing opportunities for HIV transmission, the rate of new infections has stayed constant. Through blood transfusions, unprotected sex, or unsafe injections, HIV is transmitted in a variety of ways and continues to affect the lives of people worldwide. So, what's the solution? I'm pleased to introduce Nicole, Triguard's Chief Operating Officer, to introduce to you the future of preventative medicine.
HIV type 1 virus is widespread and affects a significant number of individuals and their loved ones as well. HIV takes a toll on those who have contracted the virus, and from that moment of contraction, their lives are slowly consumed by it. Triguard is proud to introduce to you Triplex Elixir, a syrup that incorporates the DNA triplex forming molecule technology to prevent the HIV virus strain from multiplying. Our team of leaders, scientists, and innovators are fueled with passion to save many lives of HIV-infected individuals. Triplex Elixir, a revolutionary medicinal product.
Thanks, Nicole, for that introduction to Triguard's revolutionary new product, Triplex Elixir. Now let's take it to Sophia, who will explain at the microscopic level the metabolic pathway traveled by HIV.
HIV causes AIDS by destroying T lymphocytes. An important trait all HIV infectable cells share is the presence of the CD4 glycoprotein on their outer surfaces. The HIV virus uses a CD4 to enter the cell, and when it does, many copies of the virus are produced. T lymphocytes are killed at a rate faster than the body can replace them, and white blood cell depletion occurs. This compromises immune system functioning and leaves the body vulnerable to opportunistic infections. Infection of the CD4 T cell by HIV occurs in 3 sequential stages. The first stage of viral life cycle is attachment. The viral glycoprotein 120, or GP120 on the surface of the virus, binds to the CD4 receptor on the surface of the host cell. Next, GP120 undergoes a conformational change, which allows it to bind to a second receptor or co-receptor on the host cell surface. Binding to the co-receptor is critical to the virus, as without this event, HIV cannot enter the cell, thereby not infecting the individual. Finally, co-receptor binding induces structural changes in another viral glycoprotein, known as GP41, which results in fusion of HIV with a host cell and allows entry of the virus into the cell. The co-receptors to which HIV can bind are part of the chemokine family of proteins, and the binding to a co-receptor is necessary for HIV to be able to enter the cell. About 60% of patients are infected with CCR5 tropic virus, the HIV virus that uses a CCR5 receptor to enter the cell. We will therefore concentrate on this silencing receptor.
Triplex Elixir takes advantage of these metabolic pathways to stop HIV in its tracks. Here's Christina to further explain the theory behind Triplex Elixir.
The inspiration for our product lies in a specific mutation of the CCR5 gene. The CCR5 gene is located on the smaller arm of chromosome 3. The gene codes for the production of the CCR5 glycoprotein receptor. A small subset of the Caucasian population has been shown to carry a mutation in the CCR5 gene that gives resistance to HIV infection. This frameshift mutation, known as CCR5 delta 32, involves a 32 base pair deletion, resulting in production of a truncated, non-functional form of the CCR5 receptor. The mutation, even when homozygous, is not associated with any negative health consequences. It is thought that this is so because there is probably a large element of redundancy in the functions carried out by the 7 chemokine receptors. Although the capability of this mutation to give absolute resistance to HIV is still unknown, in surveys of HIV-positive cohorts, not a single individual homozygous for the mutation was found. Heterozygous HIV-positive individuals were detected. Although these individuals are seropositive, their transition towards AIDS is often slow. Seronegative heterozygous individuals also have been calculated to have a lower risk of contracting HIV.
While that's all good in theory, in order to create triplex elixir, a mechanism had to be formulated. Chantal is next to describe this DNA triplex technology.
By using triplex technology, researchers at Triguard have discovered a groundbreaking method of HIV-1 prevention and treatment. Peptide nucleic acids, PNA, bind duplex DNA in a sequence-specific manner, creating triplex structures that can produce permanent genome modification. HIV-1 infection requires cell expression of both receptor CD4 and CCR5, a 7-transmembrane G protein coupled co-receptor for viral entry. The triplex elixir transfects the human cells with DNA targeted to the CCR5 gene to introduce stop codons which mimic the naturally occurring CCR5 delta 32 mutation, rendering cells resistant to HIV-1 and preserving immune system function. PNAs represent a class of synthetic oligonucleotide capable of triple helix formation with high affinity and specificity for duplex DNA. PNAs consist of purine and pyrimidine bases attached to a polyamide backbone, maintaining a spacing similar to DNA, but is a chiral, neutrally charged molecule. Highly stable PNA-DNA-PNA triplexes can be formed with 2 PNA strands at the homopurine DNA strand of the duplex. One PNA strand binds by strand invasion via Watson-Crick pairing in an anti-parallel orientation, while the other can bind to the major groove of the DNA-PNA duplex via Hooke-Steen base pair parallel, which is displacement of the remaining DNA strand.
Now that you've heard all about triplex elixir, you know that you're in good hands against one of the most infectious diseases.
We are Triguard.